Yeah, and I do just want to say, so I want to talk a little bit about Justin Fields for a quick second. Can we put to rest the argument that he should be starting over Andy Dalton now?
Oh
They
well,
only
yeah,
scored. They only put up 6 offensive points when Justin Field played after Andy Dalton went out with a knee injury. The other touchdown was a pick six by Roquan Smith.
yeah, yeah.
So
Against I will say against a weak Bengals defense.
a really weak Bengals defense, and
Yeah,
to me, a quarterback needs to be a distributor and he needs to spread the ball around and kind of be like the point guard of a football team.
hmm
And I get that Justin Fields is really athletic, and I've kind of come out and said before on this that uh, if Justin Fields starts, it will not be because of his throwing ability. It'll just be because that offensive line is not good, and he is better at creating outside the pocket than Andy Dalton. I don't think
yeah,
anybody's arguing that.
yeah,
I just I think when Andy Dalton is on the field, that offense is more potent just because they can get the ball to their playmakers in a much more timely and consistent fashion.
yeah.
And I just I think Justin Fields will have a good NFL career. I just think it's next season. Like it starts next season for him. I just
Well,
think he's behind on that.
and that's what you saw when Andy Dalton went up against the LA Rams on the Monday Night Football last week. It was like the Rams won in fairly convincing fashion, and they're clearly the better team. But Andy Dalton actually gave them a chance by slowing the game
Mm-hmm.
down, and he's better able to read those defenses and make
Yeah.
the correct audibles and the adjustments at the line of scrimmage. Only just because he's been doing it for 10 years
Mm-hmm.
now, and he has that veteran experience. That's something that Justin Fields, I think, needs to continue to keep working on. So, say obviously, no one's
Yeah.
denying his athletic ability, and the same thing with Trey Lance, for example. But they're just they need to kind of grow into the system and grow into the speed of the game. And
Yeah.
it's kind of one of those why rush it. The Bears are 1-1. They're tied for the division lead right now. Actually, they are in
Yeah.
the division leader right now. Um, Probably going to be tied with the Packers tomorrow if I had to bet. But yeah, with Justin Fields against one of the weaker defenses in the league, and he's not able to.
Struggling.
Yeah, he's not able to manufacture a good drive. It seems like he can
Mm-hmm.
scramble, but you can only do that so often. So yeah, I agree
Yeah,
with you
exactly.
completely. I don't know I see when I see people make those arguments about like Justin Fields should be playing it, and a lot of this is mainly on ESPN. It's like I feel like you don't know, you don't actually like understand what you're talking about. It feels like because Andy Dalton's
Yeah.
not a bad quarterback. Is he elite? No, but he is the best quarterback on the Bears team right now.
Yeah.
And if he is out, that is going to actually be very detrimental to the
Mm-hmm.
uh, Bears team.
Yeah, no, and I think it actually could be detrimental to Justin Fields' progress because if he comes in and, for the lack of a better term, sucks.
Yeah,
I mean, mentally, what that does to a young quarterback, especially one that has a lot of pressure on him, like Fields.
yeah.
I mean,
Well,
that's a tough scenario.
I would say the only thing with that though is like when Peyton Manning first came in, like he sucked and the Colts weren't good, and Ryan Leaf and the Chargers also sucked and weren't good,
Yeah,
but they had two totally different career paths.
but
And so, I do believe that like kind of what Zach
but here,
Wilson and Trevor Lawrence are going through right now is going to be good for them. I just think with the
yeah,
Bears specifically, they can get the best of both worlds. They could potentially win the division and make the playoffs
yeah.
with Andy Dalton, while also then Fields is developing and getting reps on the sideline.
Th- See that? So that's the thing for me is like when Peyton Manning came in and and sucked for the Colts. The Colts sucked. Like the Colts were not good. The
Mm-hmm.
Bears made the playoffs last year. The Bears community, I guess, are hoping that Justin Fields can come in and be this savior and be this guy that they haven't had the last. I mean, what the last time they really made a late playoff push was Rex Grossman in '06.
Yeah, about last I can
Like
remember.
so, like I, he has a whole city that is expecting him to take this team to the not only to the playoffs but also hopefully further. And I think if he comes in and sucks, I feel like that could be really bad for him.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's why I kind of
and
said
then I
different.
feel like he would go more down the Ryan Leaf path in that comparison of like of this guy who has all this pressure on him and all this like all these expectations that he just doesn't feel like he can live up to, and that's when I feel like we really see quarterbacks go off
Well, maybe. I mean, saying that, like, not entirely sure because I mean, no one expected Ryan Leaf to be Ryan Leaf. You know what I mean?
No,
Like that's how bad it
that's an
was.
extreme. He's an all-time bust.
I'm
But
saying though, it is. I think that there's no reason to even test that out, only because the Bears can have the best of both worlds with Andy
well,
Dalton and
but yeah, the argument
Justin
I'm
Fields running.
making is that if Andy Dalton's hurt and Justin Fields has to play, that it
Yeah,
could be bad.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I agree. Andy Dalton should start the rest of the season if he can.
Oh,
So
absolutely. Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
yeah,
But I agree with you going back to what you started. Yeah, I think this argument, I never got that argument to begin with, especially as we started to actually look at the film and look at his final year at Ohio
yeah.
State. But